Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Tonight's movie is Rampage. Just want to make sure. Alright, Rampage. Dwayne, The Rock Johnson. I'll watch anything he's in. So, if you remember, it's an old video game. He used to bang on the side. And actually, Wreck-It Ralph had Rampage in it, I think. But I remember that Rampage used to break down the building. Do you remember that video game? I loved it. So this is a movie about that video game, and I'm sure it's more involved than that. But like I said, The Rock's in it. Naomie Harris, Malin, Akerman. You've seen her in a lot. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's in The Walking Dead now. Joe Manganiello, Magic Mike. Also from One Tree Hill. Just throwing it out there. I don't know who watches One Tree Hill, but I do. Anyway, oh, and Will Young Lee is in it. There's a lot of good people in this. Sorry, I'll start paying attention to you. But anyway, so it's about the video game. And there's a lot of different characters in the video game. I'm sure they're going to show up here. I'm excited to see it. I've been waiting to see this for a while. So I'll tell you a little bit more about it as I get into it more without reading the synopsis, because the synopsis never matters. We know that. But let's get into it. Stick around. I'll be back and give you more info. Okay, everybody. Time for a quick check-in. We're watching Rampage. We're at the 49-minute and 3-second mark. And a lot has happened. So, basically, for some reason they're out in space. I don't understand that part. But they have created some sort of pathogen that can enhance... I'm assuming anybody, but it's really meant for the animals and make them larger. Their DNA gets bigger, whatever. They can regenerate, all that kind of stuff, and that's how this is going to happen to these animals. But they're in space in the opening scene, but it's not like it's alien technologies. Maybe they went out to space to test it, so nothing happened on Earth. Whatever. They, in space, the space thing blows up, and these 3 cartridges float down to Earth and land in 3 different spots. They hit a gorilla, well, they hit the ground, and a gorilla smells it, a wolf, and I believe an alligator so far. Well, the gorilla is like the Rock is some kind of zoologist. They actually say what he is, and it's a bigger word, but you know, he primate something, whatever, primate specialist maybe. But he talks to the gorillas and he hangs out and stuff like that in sign language. It was really cool. It kind of reminded me of Jurassic Park, when he's, you know, talking to the little dinosaurs trying to calm them down. He does the same thing in this. So he has a relationship with them. They know who he is. He can talk to them. He can calm them down. But anyway, the gorilla, which is George, smells the stuff, is now getting bigger and angrier. You know, so... people are starting to come and try and contain this gorilla, which isn't going well, and that's all the action. So pretty much they're trying to contain this gorilla, the wolf. They haven't, the alligator, again I think it's an alligator, hasn't been present yet in the 49 minutes so far, but you know that's going to happen. Meanwhile, the Rock's trying to protect the gorilla, you know, from harm, and trying to cure him. He meets a woman who worked for the company who developed the pathogen, and one area of opportunity there, they just meet. It's like within hours, and you know, and they have this relationship already. Not like a romantic relationship, but it's like when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like they kind of very quickly know each other and know how to react to each other and stuff like that. It's too quick of a relationship. There was nothing built there, and they hurried it. But, you know, a little opportunity there. There is a scene where there's the 2, I don't know, heads of the company who developed this pathogen to make these animals grow. And they're in their office. And there's a Rampage video game in the back. I thought that was pretty awesome. So I wanted to mention that. There's also a part where Jeffrey Dean Morgan shows up, and he's the head of some agency, and they're trying to figure out who he is. What are you, CIA, FBI? And the girl says, "Are you Justice League?" I thought that was cool too. But real quick on Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's the same guy. So if you watch The Walking Dead, and I saw Jeffrey Dean Morgan again, and I'm like, okay, and he's the same character as in The Walking Dead. So I'm a little disappointed in that. Maybe I don't remember how he used to be. Maybe I watched too much Walking Dead, but same guy. And then one last thing. Oh, Jack Lacey. He's one of the 2 people who helped develop this pathogen, or head of the company or whatever. I've seen him in other things. Can't place him right now. But his character or his acting in this is really off-putting for me. So fake and so like out of place for the rest of the movie. That's what I got going on so far. Other than that, it's fun. It's action. You can't take it too seriously. I mean take it seriously, but I mean it's fake. This will never happen kind of stuff is what I mean. But there are some of the things that I thought I'd point out to you real quick. I'll get back into it a little bit more. If something interesting happens, I'll check back in. If not, I'll see you at the credits and let you know what I really think. Thanks. Wait, should I tell you what the IMDb says? Let me tell you what the IMDb says. IMDb has it at a 6.3. Sorry I didn't tell you that the first time, but we'll see what Kimmel's Irish Pub says. So stick around. Hey everybody. We're at the, what is this called? The credits of Rampage, sorry. And, it was good, but it lacks something. And the Jake Lacey name just came up again. It just, there's characters in movies sometimes that you just don't belong. This guy, I think he was casted incorrectly. I don't think that was the right guy for the role. I understand what they were trying to do. Didn't do it for me, but I'm not going to belabor that any longer. The movie itself reminded me of King Kong meets Godzilla kind of movie, which is fine. That's okay. I know they're trying to base it off of a video game, and that's what it came out like. Maybe a little, the Planet of the Apes, the new series, kind of worked in there. I liked The Rock, and I liked Naomie Harris, I think was the sidekick that he met up with. I do think that they lacked character relationship development, is what I came up with. There's potential there, and now it was an hour and 47 minutes, so they don't have a lot more room. They just got to be smarter with it. I mean, you got good characters in it. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, even though he's the same guy every time. Naomie Harris and The Rock Johnson are all in this, and they come out as best friends at the end. But there's nothing there that leads you to that. Like, I always think you have to see I think you've seen movies like this before. When they develop a relationship and they rely on each other, and you know why it's happening, and it doesn't happen here. I mean, they're like in an hour best friends, and everything's the greatest ever. So, that I think really kept this movie from being better. Yes, everything else is unbelievable. The way that they give the antidote to the gorilla is just ridiculous. The helicopter scene, that's completely ridiculous. A little too much, I think, for me. And I think there was one other thing. Oh, and the thermostat piece, where she can hack all computers using a thermostat. So, a lot of ridiculousness. I mean, of course, when a gorilla is huge, you got King Kong there, a big alligator, and a big, whatever the wolf was. All that kind of stuff. It's unbelievable. But then they take it to a new level with these other things that, can't possibly happen. That's okay. They bothered me a little bit. Not as much as Jake Lacey in this movie. But really the character relationship development, the lack thereof of that is what really bothered me. I think they could have done a better job there. I don't know what they could cut out. I'd probably have to watch it a couple more times and give them some notes on this film. The action's fun. Everything else is fun. And, The Rock is fun. And his sidekick, I forget, not Naomie Harris, there's another guy in it that I'm starting to like a little bit more as I see him in other things. But anyway, it's enough for me. Where am I at on this one, you're asking? Probably at a 6. I hate to give out all these 7s, as I've been told I do a lot. And because of all the things I mentioned, I'm going to go with a 6. There's a lot there. It could have been better. And I wanted it to be better. Not that I hated it, but that's it. That's all I got for you. Let me know what you think. Did you watch it? Did you check it out? What did you think of my review? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you like me? Click the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.